Wanted to review this. I thought a video would be easier um, than going through it. It's an interesting design. I hate angled walls, and I'm sure you do too now after looking at this. So just start with um, the. I'm not sure this would be a good closet to do the corners in. You definitely have enough room along this back wall, but I think with this angle, it really gives you some challenges that you might not otherwise face. But one thing I do want you to note when you are drawing the rooms using Draw Your Own Room, one of the first things I always do when I finish drawing the walls is I hit this room pull down menu, shift room contents, and then just click OK. All that that's going to do is just move everything into the center of the paper so that when you're viewing it, it's easier. And just as a reminder, this is more for your installers, that I resize the paper down to something that's more appropriate to the room. So here I just did 10 by 10. And that way when you print it, there's going to be more detail for your installers. So just that's a little minor detail. Anytime I have an angled closet, um, I always want to go through and um, have as much consistency around that angle as possible, meaning whatever I'm doing in there, I'm doing all the way around. So for me, these angles are almost always hanging. Um, I'm going to clone the room just to show you how you can make this happen pretty easily. Clone the room. I'm not going to redraw because I've already gone through this, but I just wanted to show you the process I went through. I started with my uprights on this wall, and the first upright I'm going to put in is the one at the angle. And if we get the critical dimension to the right side of this, when I move this upright over, you can see it just changed to green. So if we're looking at it, when it gets that 5.809 inches, I'm going to left click to place that. I'm going to come to the adjacent wall, and we're going to do the same thing. I just hit the space bar to get that critical dimension to the outside. And what that's going to do is, as I'm placing these uprights, when you look at that, I end up with perfectly aligned. So Live Storage does all the math for you. It knows that you've drawn a 45-degree corner in there, 14-inch uprights. It needs this dimension so that when you place those two components together, they're going to match up really tight. So what I ended up with in the design is this. I went in, I'm going to start with here. One of the critical things I was looking at once I did the design was how much room do I have in between here? Do I have enough room for your customer to actually walk in? So I was limited to this section being 12 inches wide and this section being 18 inches wide. And then that gives me, or gives you almost 32 inches. So that's plenty of room for somebody to walk through. They're not going to feel claustrophobic. From a view standpoint, as you're walking in, you'll see that they're going to have no problem getting into this space. Still going to be a little bit tight, but it's not going to be horrible. As they walk in, this is what they're going to see. I mimicked your 85 inches tall here. I'm assuming there's a reason for that. But I did a drawer section along the back. I did hanging here, but I did shelving up above it so that when you walk in at eye level, you're not seeing product sticking out. It's just going to make the space feel a little bit bigger. As we come in on this side, I just put in shoe shelving in here. 18 inches wide really lends itself to shoes. But then along the rest of the angle, I just did hanging. And I think that's always what I did in that situation. I usually, if this wall were longer, I would have taken this section and done hanging as well and done shelving to the right of it. But because the space limitations, I went in here. I sometimes worry about the clothes extending on beyond this and interfering with grabbing the shoes, but it's really not a big deal. Um, I did a blind corner in the other side here, um, just so that your customer would still get access into that. There's going to be, from this wall to that tower, there's about 28 inches, which is plenty of room to get the clothes in and out of. I did 24-inch drawer section, space for folded clothes above there, more hanging into the other corner. I didn't really think I saw any long hang in here, so I just kept it all double hang. And then went with the 85-inch tower here. And then I still did the bridge coming across. You can still do this and just hits this shelf. It just gives you a little bit more capacity on that side of it. You don't have to put that in. Um, the other thing that's really critical in this is cleats. Like this one has to have a cleat in it. You need a cleat on this one because we don't have any place to tie in. And then each of these three sections have cleats in there so that you have a way to anchor it in. When you go to build this, what you're going to do is you're going to build this section and you're going to build this shoe section and then use uprights to figure out how wide I'm going to make this. So before you order this, you're going to probably want to redraw this so we have 2 more inches along this wall, or 3 inches along this wall, so you can actually cut this to fit and get that to fit in there really nicely. This would also be one that you could use top shelf all the way along, and that will, you can cover these gaps, or you can just go in and use an adjustable shelf. Just order an additional like 24-inch adjustable shelf, and you can cut it down little pie-shaped pieces to fit over these gaps, and then use a mending plate on either side of that and just drop them in place. You've got to do something to stop clothes from going down below. But that's how you're going to go in and do this. There's another way to do it that if you wanted to attempt it, that you could do this with the hanging system as opposed to full height panels, would actually make installing this easier. If you want to go that route, just let me know and we can discuss how that all goes together. But I think this is going to be the best utilization of space. I took your idea of the accessory cleat and I put it along this sidewall. I'm assuming the door swings in here, and this just will go back behind it. But I just think the flow of this works really well. Hopefully this is what you were looking for. And just let me know what you think.